Hi guys. So it literally is 3 a.m. right now, and I don't know if it's significant that I'm having a 3 a.m. moment almost exactly a year after I posted that last video about it. And this one is a bit different because I'm doing it in the middle of a 3 a.m. moment. And it's funny because I think the purpose of this is more to figure out how I'm feeling rather than to teach or to even share anything. So this wasn't, I didn't wake up, this was more that I didn't fall asleep. And it's interesting because I do not show any sort of tendency. I don't know how to say it. I'm not an alcoholic. That's what I mean. That's what I mean to say. It's maybe it's because I grew up with it, so I've been so careful, so afraid of it almost. But in my life, I have substituted other things for that, and my attitude towards those things are very much the same as an alcoholic towards alcohol. For example, something as innocent seeming as consumption of sweets, sugar, or white flour, anything that gives you that momentary high, that spike of blood sugar, to fill boredom, to fill emptiness, to just give you that lift of spirits. But then when you crash, or at least when I crash, when the blood sugar comes down again, not only do I emotionally want that high again, but suddenly I physically want it too, to relieve the symptoms of the crash. So it makes me feel like I think what an addict feels like. And in some ways I'm glad for that experience because it gives me more sympathy and more insight to the other side of things rather than feeling just like a victim of alcoholism and drug abuse. So it gives me more compassion perhaps, but it also puts a burden on myself to learn something that I feel like I wasn't given growing up, which is loving oneself. Loving oneself, and then also the total assurance that this life is good, that existence is good, like I mentioned in the other video. And so I feel like I've had to carve that out myself, and I've had to fight for finding meaning in life myself, because the people I was surrounded with, even if they didn't say it out loud, I mean, there was despair behind their eyes, and the people around me sought oblivion through either drinking or using drugs, and suicide seemed to pervade the environment too. And I think, I don't want to say everyone has to face that, but I do think it is a question that we as human beings have to come to terms with, is whether we think this life is worth it, whether it's worth being on earth for it. And I noticed little strands of thought throughout the day today of me feeling like it wasn't. and they were just little ones, and I was kind of just letting them go, thinking that they were nothing. I was very down on myself. I felt very guilty. I felt very much like, why can't I control my impulses sometimes regarding sugar? I felt really bad about that. And it's very easy. In Al-Anon, we're told that an alcoholic, one of the reasons why you shouldn't criticize or nag is because the alcoholic can already feel just terrible about himself or herself, and that guilt is so hard to bear. And that doesn't mean, don't, if you're in a situation like that right now, don't get confused or conflicted about, oh my gosh, I'm making them feel guilty. No, they have their own guilt already for their actions and their choices. And that's what I was experiencing today. Was just, and sorry my voice sounds tired, it really is 3 in the morning. That's what I was coming to face with, is feeling like my dignity and my value in my own eyes was lessened and lowered because I felt like I wasn't making healthy choices and I was making impulse decisions. And for some reason or other, that lowered my value in my own eyes. And I guess I thought I had dealt with it, but now that it's nighttime, I was getting a lot of the physical symptoms that, well, for one thing, it's very, very much paralleling a sugar crash. I can feel very much just brain fog or tension or shaky, like I don't have ground underneath me, just kind of like just riding loose waves, basically. This time I even felt the adrenaline of fear just sweeping through me, and that manifests itself in my skin feeling prickly sometimes, my legs feeling drained of energy, and then, my mind too. It just was very difficult to stop the negative thoughts that just kept going. And the most pervasive thought that was worrying even me in kind of a detached, observational way was again that feeling of I just want to break. And I said this in my first video too. And this time I kind of felt like, why can't I just start life over again? Why can't a light just shut off? Like a light switch, and that's it for my life. And these are very cloaked self-destructive thoughts. And I don't want to use the word suicidal because there was nothing, there was no sort of plotting or thinking, oh, I'll do this, but just that wish to not exist was present. And yeah, that wanted just to end so I could just rest. I'm just so tired of being. I tried journaling. My journal's right here. It's a very pretty journal. I got some water. I watched my own video, and you know what? That really helped. I also took a Kava supplement, and I can already feel the relaxation starting to go through my body. Because in the moments that I want oblivion, whether through drinking or eating too much or whatever it is, there's also a part of me that really doesn't want that, that would prefer to find peace and serenity and purpose and meaning through a sober life. And I'm using the word sober, including even the high from sugar or caffeine. I won't get into that though right now. That's a whole other subject. What do I want to say? I want to end this hopefully and peacefully, but it's such a gradual process for me that I can't just muster that up all of a sudden. I did tell myself, the sun's gonna come up in a few hours. Just hang on, just hold on, just give it time. I sometimes put a wager to myself that the next day will be better. I pose that challenge to myself. I say, just see. Just try it, just see, just hold on. And it very, very often is. And you know what? Peace also starts slowly taking hold of me when I write. Because oftentimes when I'm afraid of panic attacks, and I can make another video of that later too, it's because I'm losing touch with my feelings inside. And after only maybe half a page of writing, I can start to feel myself, everything just slow down, and I start to feel soothed, and I think, oh, this is what I really think. This is what I'm feeling. Even if it's bad stuff, somehow knowing it through words rather than having my body telling me through physical symptoms is easier to deal with. And so anyway, I'm sorry if this gives you no optimism or anything, but even just to hear another human being's voice speaking out through the darkness, you can see how dark it is out there. I know we can feel really, really alone in moments of, 3 a.m. moments, but we're not alone. We have a world full of people that are going through more similar human experiences than you think. So yeah, I just want to reach out my hand again and just say, I'm here. Thank you for listening to me. I think this time I needed this more than I was making this to help anybody else, so I'm really appreciative of you listening. And I can feel the love. I know love exists in this world, in my present relationships, in my future relationships. And if anything, that's worth sticking around for. So I hope you're feeling good right now. I'm sending you love and blessings. And I think I'm already starting to feel better.